Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today on the show, we're going to be talking about whether or not Baron Coleman will be doing the discussion with Andrew Wilson. We're also going to take a look at something I found pretty interesting when it comes to the bullet fragment did not match and what that means for their, I don't even know what you want to call it, conspiracy theory, their speculation, whatever words they want to use. And also, has Baron Coleman changed his position on Rob McCoy being a direct cause of what happened to Charlie Kirk? Let's get into this.
I've watched Zach now do two debates. I admittedly did not watch all 11 hours of the combined debates, but I've watched two debates, flipped around, watched clips people sent me. I want to advise people, and I've had people encourage me, you need to debate this person, you need to debate that person. You have to establish a ground rule. And if you're going to debate a trial, I suggest the burden of proof that goes with trials. I don't have to prove anything. I don't have to prove Tyler Robinson didn't take a shot. I don't have to prove anything. You have to prove he did. You have to prove he did and prove it beyond a reasonable doubt in order to win the debate and thus the trial. And I would suggest to you that there's just not the evidence from which to have a seasoned debate, a reasonable debate right now. Here's why. The only thing we have is the charging document. That's it. That's the only evidence they're going to be able to present is the charging documents. And a few comments made by law enforcement officials, like Cash Patel made a comment about the palm gun and this and that, palm print, on the gun. But what they don't have is this mountain, this overwhelming evidence. There's all this stuff they think they have. And so what are we debating? Like, I'm still trying to figure out who was where, when, how, all these types of things in order to present the robust defense for the debate. But until we start seeing some semblance of evidence, all we have is an affidavit and a charging document. I'll be happy to debate people on that. I'll be happy to. You go through the charging document, you read what it says, you tell me your interpretation of what it says, and I'll poke holes in it. I'll win. That's a guaranteed victory. You can't lose that debate. You can't lose it. But I don't think that's worth anybody's time. So I would advise against that. I would rather say, Zach, you do your shows, let them do their shows. That way we can speculate. We don't have any kind of limitations. But if people are just hell-bent on getting their brains beat in, let's have a debate according to the rules. So that's number one.
In case you guys don't understand what Baron Coleman just said there, he basically said Zach got his ass kicked not only once, but twice, and recommends that nobody on their side have any debates. Just do your show, let them do theirs. That way we can just freely speculate and we don't have to worry about being challenged or have any pushback at all whatsoever on our speculation. I figured, you know what? I'm going to send Baron a super chat and I'm going to basically call him out and say that he's too afraid to have any type of discussion or debate with Andrew Wilson, just to see how he would respond.
Baron giving a reason to not debate because he knows he would get absolutely destroyed by Andrew Wilson. No, I don't think so. I really don't think I would. What I'm saying is, what are we going to debate? Like, I will debate him, but we got to limit it to he is trying to make the case that Tyler Robinson killed him. That's the burden is on the movement who is stating something. The burden is not on the defense to prove anything. So what is it I'm trying to prove? I can't prove he didn't take the shot because I don't know where he was. I don't have the evidence. We have a charging document with a limited amount of evidence in it. Short of that, I mean, I don't understand what a debate is right now. I'll be happy to talk to him. I have a conversation. But a whole like, I'll debate you and we'll talk. No, I mean, unless you want to try to prove Tyler did it and let me just sit there and poke holes in the evidence. But that's what I do every day. Like, I sit around and poke holes in the evidence. It's the nature of the show.
So Baron Coleman basically says, in kind of a wishy-washy way, you know what? I would do it. I would do it. Not sure if I would do a debate. I'd have a discussion. But if we did debate, this is what my stipulations would be. Fair enough. Fair enough, Baron. I figured I'd go ahead and post that to social media and see if we can get Andrew Wilson's take on that. Well, Andrew Wilson responded. Simple. My debate position will be the state has provided the most rational explanation and given the best evidence to date on what happened to Charlie Kirk, versus the position you have alternatives to the state's evidence, which is more viable or gives a better explanation of events. Pretty much what Baron Coleman's asking for. Now, I don't know with 100% certainty that Baron Coleman was aware of this. I'm sure that he saw this. Just guessing. I don't know how he could have missed it. He's tagged in this multiple times. So, what is his response the next day?
We're all waiting on you to accept Andrew Wilson's request and announce you will be doing the discussion with him. Surely you won't back out. I've not accepted. I can't back out. Looking forward to watching the Battle of Wits. It's not about backing out. I
would do the debate. I would do it. These are my stipulations. This is what it would have to be on. I'd gladly do it or have a discussion. Whatever wish-washy way he said, right? Whatever wish-washy way he made, basically accepted it. Well, now he hasn't accepted it. Can't back out of something I didn't accept. Sure thing, Baron.
Explained in the show. I don't know if you were still watching. I don't understand the purpose of trying to debate something where there are so many unknown facts right now. This is an investigation. You don't investigate, no, this fact is true. No, that fact is true. No, that's not true. No, this is true. This is true. No, that's not true. That's not a debate. That's an annoying conversation. If he would like to sit here and read the charging documents and say, this is what the state alleged, what do you say about it? But I mean, I can pull them up and do that. I'm not sure. It's like saying I want to debate who's going to win the football game next year. We don't know. Or who won the football game next year. Who's got the better chance. Well, I don't listen to that stuff. It's nonsensical. You're just arguing over nothing. But I'll be happy to talk to him. You know what bothers me about the other side of this discussion? I don't understand why they're so angry. Like when the Kennedy thing comes up, Charlie Kirk was very skeptical of the Kennedy government narrative. No one, I mean, I sort of.
I don't understand why they're so angry, guys. Charlie Kirk was very skeptical of certain things. Yeah, there's a difference between being skeptical and trying to paint a narrative. There's a big difference between being skeptical and literally defaming people and accusing them of a horrible crime with zero evidence. Big difference between being skeptical and making accusations. Gee, I don't know. I wonder why we're angry. Probably because we give a shit about the truth. And everything that you're doing and the way that you're doing it, Baron, has nothing to do with truth.
Hand it tonight, but no one accused him of being evil or demonic or stupid or a lunatic or anything like that. He just had valid questions about facts that didn't seem to fit the government narrative, or things that he believes are facts that didn't seem to fit the government narrative. Books have been written on this. People have talked about it for now 6.5 decades. Why does Charlie Kirk have everyone all stirred up? Why would you have a guy, how much did he pay? He paid $10. And he paid, I think, 10 or 20 the other night. Why would you have a guy pay me $30, 20 or $30 to come in here and give me a hard time based, I mean, you can pay me as much as you want. That's fine. Make it 100, make it 200, make it 500. But why would you have someone come in and pay money to give me a hard time because I'm not buying the government narrative?
Why? What is he trying to imply there? Why would you have somebody come in and pay me money just to give me a hard time? Or do you not think that I'm perfectly capable of making decisions on my own, Baron? Do you not think that I'm perfectly capable of deciding that, you know what? I want to see how full of shit this dude is, so I'm going to spend some money, super chat him so he reads it, and I get a response from him. Because if I just did it in his regular chat, he probably wouldn't see it, or they would, which they did, put me on mute. Why would I do that? Why would I go in there and give Baron such a hard time? My bad, Baron. My bad. I didn't realize I was giving you a hard time by challenging you on the things that you're saying.
What is your interest? What is your interest? What is the interest of anybody? It should be the truth. The more it's investigated, the more we find the truth. And I don't understand why anybody would be opposed to that.
Not opposed to finding the truth, Baron. What truth have you found? What truth, Baron, have you found? Anybody? Anybody care to enlighten me? What truth Baron Coleman has found that goes against the Fed slop? What truth? All right, so far we have him saying, don't do debates. I'd be more than happy to debate Andrew Wilson if we did it this way. Maybe I won't debate, maybe a discussion. I didn't accept, even though I put out stipulations as what I would want the debate to be, which Andrew Wilson gladly accepted. And then we go to, well, I haven't accepted it. I'm not backing out. You can't back out of something you didn't accept. More wish-washy. I'd be happy to have a discussion. I don't think it would be good. And then he finishes it up with another stipulation. Here we go.
We all see right through your intentions, Rage Bronson. I'm not attributing any ill will towards him. I just don't understand the desire to see a debate that is not ripe. Maybe after the preliminary hearing and we see some actual evidence, maybe it would be ripe for debate. And I'll be open to that. But short of that, I mean, an interview, a discussion, I'm open to that. Happy to have him on the member show and we'll chat our way through it. I don't really do interviews on the main show, but happy to do it on a member show. But again, if I'm going to insist that we follow sort of a rule, which is your job is to make the claim. You're claiming Tyler Robinson alone planned and executed Charlie Kirk. Make your case. I will listen to it, give you 15 minutes, 20 minutes if you need to. Just talk, make the case. And then I will ask questions about it. Why do you think this? What do you mean by that? Maybe we'll all learn something. It might be a genuine discussion. But the idea that we go back and forth over nitpicky points about, well, you said Erica was here and it's not relevant. Not relevant to the charging document.
Not relevant. Nothing I've said is relevant. Nothing Baron Coleman, in his own words, nothing he has said is relevant. None of his speculation is relevant. None of the claims he has made is relevant. None of the accusations he has made is relevant. Nothing. Nothing he has said throughout this entire 6-7 months is relevant, according to Baron Coleman's own words. Are you going to do the discussion with Andrew Wilson or not? Are you going to sack up and do the debate or not, Baron? Just come out and say it either way. If you're too scared, it's totally cool. I get it. I wouldn't want to debate Andrew Wilson either. I totally get it, Baron. It's not that big of a deal, dude. Just say, no, I don't want to debate or have a discussion with Andrew Wilson because he's definitely going to kick my ass. Totally get it. The whole time in his chat while this is going on and we're discussing this, right? Andrew Wilson is bad. Andrew Wilson, just a bunch of negative comments toward Andrew Wilson. Andrew Wilson's a joke. Andrew Wilson doesn't know how to debate. Andrew Wilson's not a good debater. Like all of these excuses that they're throwing in his chat. It's like, okay, so if that's all true and you all believe this, should be an easy day for Baron Coleman then, right? Shouldn't be an issue at all. If Andrew Wilson sucks, if he's not good at debate, if Baron Coleman is so confident that it's just a bunch of Fed slop, should be an easy day for Baron, right? And then he even brings up, I would do the interview, maybe on my members only show. Oh, okay. So you're going to do it now. You're not going to do it. You don't want to do it. You don't think there's any point. You don't think it'd be entertaining, but you think it would be entertaining enough that you would put it behind a paywall. So it's not entertaining. You think it would be annoying. You don't think anybody would want to see it, but you would put it behind a paywall. Why would you put something that nobody wants to see behind a paywall? That doesn't make any sense, Baron. That makes no sense. I would put the things that people really want to see behind a paywall. That's what I would do, personally, if I was trying to grift and make a bunch of money. I would take the good stuff, the stuff that people really want to see, and I would stick that behind the paywall. I wouldn't put anything that nobody wants to see behind a paywall. That doesn't make any sense at all. Before we move on to exposing how stupid their conspiracy theories are when it comes now to the whole bullet didn't match thing, I found this pretty interesting. Just wanted to challenge Baron Coleman on the lies that he's spreading about Gary from Paramount Tactical, where he's basically saying Gary was somehow trying to prove or make the case that Mitch Snow was never at Fort Huachuca, when in fact, Gary has never made that claim. Gary has never even tried to push that narrative. Gary has always been of the opinion that Mitch Snow was more than likely at Fort Huachuca. Let's see what Baron has to say here.
Can you show me where Gary ever says Mitch Snow was at Fort Huachuca? You can't. Gary was always of the opinion Mitch was probably there. Well, he said the police report was fake. I don't know. I'll go back and look. Duly noted. Look, if I'm wrong on that, I'll be happy to correct it.
Duly noted. If I'm wrong on that, I'll be happy to correct it. Yeah. Yeah, we'll just, we'll sit here and hold our breath waiting on that correction that's never going to come. I don't know. Maybe he will. Who knows? Maybe he will. If he gets enough pushback, maybe he'll go back and admit to his audience that he's full of shit. I doubt it. I doubt it. Can't imagine he would want to do that. Not a big deal. Oh, did I? Oh, I don't know. Just an oopsies. My mistake. My mistake for spreading false information about somebody. Whoops. Just an opinion, guys. It's just an opinion. These people, man. These people don't give a shit. Let's break down the stupidity of this bullet doesn't match thing. All right?
Has anyone investigated Tyler Robinson's defense team? Can we trust them? Long-time listener, first-time caller. People have. And there's some weirdness there, to be honest with you. There's one of the guys, I think, named Bert, may or may not be a cousin of the Farnsworth. I think we'll show that maybe when.
So at this point in his video, he's already brought up the whole breaking news from the Daily Mail, where the headline was something along the lines of bullet fragment or bullet doesn't match rifle in Tyler Robinson case, which is a misleading headline because it's not a confirmed non-match. It came back inconclusive. They can neither confirm nor deny that it is not from that rifle. Such a stupid point. And Baron Coleman knows this. I have to assume, okay? I have to assume with him being a lawyer that he's aware. But did he come out and say that? Did he clarify what that really means in that article? Of course not. Of course not. Just like nobody else on that side did. They just ran with it all over Twitter. So here's my point. According to these people, there's this grand conspiracy cover-up that involves intel agencies, possible foreign governments. It involves the medical examiners being in on it, right? If you guys go back, I don't even know, 4 or 5 months ago, the big deal about they never did an autopsy. Oh, they're just going to fake the autopsy if they did it. They'll just blah, 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 blah. So it's got all of these people involved, right? But somehow this big, giant, grand conspiracy, they screwed up on 2 things. They shot Charlie Kirk with a different projectile than one that came from the alleged rifle, and then couldn't falsify that it was a match to the rifle. So we have this giant grand conspiracy with all of these actors involved. Everybody's paid off. Everybody's in on it. The defense team's in on it right here. Has anybody investigated the defense team? All of these people are involved. But, they just couldn't falsify that fragment was a match. This is so stupid. It can't be that there's this giant conspiracy with all of these brilliant minds involved, and it's a huge cover-up, but they couldn't falsify the documents to show that the bullet fragment was a match. Couldn't do that. Got to be completely honest about that one, guys. We can't cover that one up. That one has to, and on the flip side of that, we don't believe anything from the Fed slop, but we believe this part of the ATF. Which is it, guys? Which is it? Do you believe him or not? Which one? Moving on to the final segment of the video here, we're going to bring back up Rob McCoy. So I'm in Baron's chat, right? And I'm asking people in there, hey, does Baron still believe that Rob McCoy was responsible for what happened to Charlie Kirk? You guys would not believe how many people in his chat were like, Baron never said that. When did Baron say that? Show me a timestamp. What episode? When did Baron say that Rob McCoy was not only responsible, guys, but a direct cause of what happened to Charlie Kirk? Pretty incredible that I know more about what Baron Coleman has said these past 6 months than his own fans. Probably because I'm more interested in the truth than they are. I enjoy listening to both sides of this because I am interested in the truth. If they come with some valid points, I'm interested in it. 100%. Here's the problem. They haven't. At all. Nothing that they've said or shown has refuted the state's case in any way, shape, or form. None. They have provided zero evidence of any other involvement besides Tyler Robinson. They sure as hell haven't proven or shown any evidence that Erica Kirk or TPUSA were involved in any way, shape, or form. Nothing but speculation based off of feelings, vibes, and stuff that they consider to be weird. Now, let's see what Baron Coleman's response to my question here is. And then we're going to go back about 4 months and I'm going to show you where his position on Rob McCoy was and if he still keeps that same position today.
You still think Rob McCoy is responsible for what happened to Charlie Kirk like you said months ago, or have you changed your mind? Depends on what you mean by responsible. Again, I appreciate your...
First off, what do you mean it depends on what I mean by responsible, Baron? I didn't make the claim. What do you mean by responsible? What did you mean by him being a direct cause? I don't mean anything, Baron. I didn't make the claim.
Your donations, Rage. I think it depends on what you mean by responsible. Do I think he pulled the trigger or caused something to explode under Charlie's shirt? No. But do I think he shares in the responsibility of the broader reasons why Charlie Kirk is no longer with us? In my opinion, yeah. I do. It's just an opinion. But yeah, maybe.
Oh, it's just an opinion, guys. Just an opinion. Is it just an opinion, Baron? Let's see.
This in the Los Angeles Times the day after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. This is about Rob McCoy. Charlie Kirk's spiritual advice came from a Ventura County pastor. Right here. Kirk credited McCoy as the religious leader who encouraged him to combine his Christianity with his conservative political beliefs. In a 2021 interview, Kirk said that when he first met McCoy, the pastor told him, "You're a Christian, and I want to tell you that not only does the Bible say a lot about civil government, not only does the Bible say a lot about how we should interact with our leaders, but I think you should talk more publicly about it." Kirk's Turning Point USA had previously been an avowedly secular youth organization. That's important. Had it stayed that way, he'd be alive. But he would go on to declare that God was on the side of the conservatives and that pastors had a divine duty to preach against the progressive policies. He liked to say there was no separation of church and state. So what happened? How did Charlie Kirk end up in the grave? Rob McCoy. In the law, we have two types of liability. We have direct cause and proximate cause. Direct cause means like I hit you in the head and now your head has a spot on it. That's a direct cause. Proximate cause is I set up conditions so that if everything fell right, it would hit you in the head. Direct cause, proximate cause. Is he the direct cause? Yes, because had it been an avowedly secular institution, a furry who just accepting the government's and mainstream explanation for how he died. If it had been an avowedly secular institution that was worried about free market principles and economics, a furry who plays Magic the Gathering with his buddies is not upset about Charlie Kirk's politics. He doesn't care, probably doesn't know about them. He wouldn't climb the Losi Center, he wouldn't lay down in a prone position, and he wouldn't take a crack at Charlie Kirk's jugular. So that's the direct cause. It's also the proximate cause.
Does that sound like an opinion, guys, or does that sound like a claim? Because it sounds to me like a claim. Rob McCoy is the direct cause of what happened to Charlie Kirk.
So what happened? How did Charlie Kirk end up in the grave? Rob McCoy.
How did Charlie Kirk end up in the grave? Rob McCoy. I'm not a lawyer, guys. Okay, not a lawyer. But that sure sounds to me like he's making an accusation that Rob McCoy is the direct cause for Charlie Kirk's unaliving. Now, if Rob McCoy is not, if Rob McCoy is completely innocent, which it definitely appears to be the case, that sounds like that might be a defamatory statement, no? If you're directly accusing somebody for being the cause of somebody's unaliving, of which they're not, I think that's defamation. Could be wrong. I could be wrong. It doesn't appear that Baron Coleman talks much about this anymore. Unless somebody like me brings it up. Which his chat, by the way, was completely unaware that he had ever made these claims to begin with. What's my conclusion? What's the conclusion, guys? Baron Coleman is completely full of shit, and I don't foresee that we will ever see him have a discussion with anybody on the opposite side, let alone in Andrew Wilson. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you in the next one.